So another bright red line has been crossed. Trump's favorite dictator is now doing dictator things. I'll walk you through it here. We have received reliable information that the Salvadoran Attorney General's office is preparing arrest warrants for El Faro journalists. So what that means is El Faro is an investigative journalism site in El Salvador. They report that Bukele is planning on arresting multiple journalists who reported on gang members' claims that they had made a deal with Bukele and his government prior to the state of exception in 2022. So this is something we've been talking about. I believe it was Dropsite News that first reported this. But what we learned is this idea of, El Salvador was a miracle. They rounded up all the gang members. They locked them up. Now it's one of the safest countries in the world, and this guy's got a super high approval rating. There's a dark side to that story that people don't talk about. Well, number one, there was no due process, which that alone is like, okay, can't do that. But beyond that, it's not true that this guy's just simply an anti-gang, anti-crime, anti-violence crusader. No, what we learned is he cut a deal with one of the gangs, and I guess what he did is he rounded up all of the rival gangs to the gang he cut a deal with and made it so that a bunch of people are locked up. He does his little PR victory where he acts like we cleaned up the streets, but other gangs are operating basically with full immunity to do whatever the fuck they want because they cut a deal with Bukele. So this is the same thing that the Trump regime is accusing Maduro of doing in Venezuela. They say, he's directing Tren de Aragua and they're invading the U.S. because they're working on behalf of Maduro. That is totally bogus. Zero evidence for that. Not true at all. In fact, our intelligence reports say the exact opposite. But who is working with gangs? This guy. And God forbid you're a journalist who blows the whistle on that, who tells the truth about that, who gives people the actual information as to how it went down. Bukele's going to arrest him. We are not that far from this here. Remember, guys, the Trump regime is already, arresting judges. They've already deported U.S. citizens. They've deported toddlers. They tried to deport a woman immediately after she gave birth. They've rounded up people, shipped them to the concentration camp with no due process, and admitted it was an administrative error, and then said, we're going to fucking keep them there. So they've done all of that. They've blown off 9-0 Supreme Court rulings. His dictator best friend here, who they say, this is like one of my favorite world leaders, he's now arresting journalists. When you have no due process, then you could round up whoever you want and just claim whatever the fuck you want about them because they can't say anything otherwise. They're locked up. They didn't get a hearing. And so this is scary shit, man. This is scary shit. But I guarantee you, in the past, you would hope that, if some country starts rounding up journalists for reporting the truth about their leader, that you would like to think that the U.S. would lead the way and be like, that's not good. Don't do that. Freedom of speech is super important. Freedom of the press is super important. But now, nobody's under any illusions that they'll fucking give a single solitary shit about this. They'll probably cheer him on. I mean, this regime tried to send a plane full of women for Bukele to lock up at CCOT. And Bukele had to go, that wasn't part of our deal, bro. I didn't say we take women. Trump went so far that even Bukele was like, I don't know about all that, homie. I don't know about all that. And now we have this. Man, think of politics as global trends and global movements. And very clearly, there's this rising tide of far-right extremism and fascism. And they are trying to undo all of the gains that humanity has made. They're trying to get rid of the Magna Carta. They're trying to get past the Enlightenment. They're trying to bring back, the Dark Ages. That's effectively what this is. They want to fucking live in the Dark Ages. They want no human rights, no justice, no international law, no principles that everybody agrees to abide by. Very basic things. No, now you're getting locked up for doing journalism because you told the truth about your corrupt-ass dictator who runs your country. Man, by the way, he's worked overtime to try to keep this story secret. Bukele has tried in 1,000 different ways to keep this story secret. In fact, he made a deal with Trump as part of the CCOT thing, hey, I need you to send me these particular gang members that are being criminally tried in the U.S. You need to send me them. Send them back to El Salvador. And the reason why he wanted that is because he knew those gang members knew about his secret deal with the gangs. And that would have come out in criminal court. And so in an attempt to hide that, he made the deal with Trump, and Trump sent those people to El Salvador. So Trump released MS-13 gang members and sent them to Bukele. They were going to be criminally tried in the U.S. and locked up. He released them and sent them to Bukele as part of their deal. All because he wanted to cover this story up. Because he wants to do fucking PR, marketing, fluff bullshit and pretend like he's this massive hero. No, he's a corrupt, dirty politician who's making corrupt, dirty deals, and he's getting exposed. And in response to that, he's becoming even more fascist. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.